Rosie, my hero vegetarian dish is my cheesy cauliflower and chickpea bake. It is a winner and it impresses all my vegetarian friends, or at least one of them anyway. You're going to love it.
I thought you were going to say I was your hero vegetarian, which I thought was a no-brainer anyway.
You are my hero, Rosie. I can guarantee you about that one. But this is the dish and it's really simple to put together, really cheesy and it will fill you up. But it starts with the cauliflower. And with the cauliflower, I'm just going to sort of take the core of it out and we're going to pull it apart and then blanch it. So I've got a pot of boiling water over there. So it comes apart pretty much itself. Now, if you can pull that apart, while you're doing that, Rosie, I'm going to slice this onion really thin. We're going to blanch the cauliflower in boiling salted water, and then we're going to put it into the dish there with some chickpeas on top, and I'm going to pour this sauce over the top, which is my creamy cheesy sauce, which is delicious, and I'll add some butter, just a tiny bit of butter into the bottom of the pot there, and then in there goes the onions as well.
I knew it was sounding way too healthy.
Just because it's vegetarian doesn't mean it has to be boring. That's what I think.
That's true too.
You know, and it can be just as delicious as every other meat dish. If you want to get really fancy, you could also put some bacon in here, but then it wouldn't be vegetarian anymore, would it?
It would not.
OK, so I've got that going in there, and it's going fairly quickly. I'll stir that around. We just like to sweat those onions down a little bit till they become translucent and you get the flavour out of them. And I like to add a good pinch of salt to get it going as well. In goes some salt into my cauliflower water there. And see that? It all goes in there nice and neatly.
Perfect.
And you can see it's starting to sweat off nicely.
Smell great.
It does, and this is where we start to put it together. Now, the garlic's going to be nice and flavoursome in there. And you can see it's already starting to become a little bit translucent. So it's almost time to add some flour. Now, this is how you thicken the sauce. The butter or olive oil, if you want to use olive oil, you bring that to the boil and then you add the flour, which thickens it all up. See how it's quite liquid? What we want is like a paste.
And is there a name for this?
This is called a roux, R-O-U-X. It's a French term. And I'll take a little bit more flour in there, Rosie.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Roux's what my nephew calls me in England when he misses me.
Oh.
The auntie went off to Australia, didn't come back. We'll just call her Roux.
Roux, call her Roux. There we go. Kangaroo, that's R-O-O. Now, normally with a roux like this, you would either add some cauliflower stock or some milk, but we're going to do something a little bit different. I've got some cooking cream. We'll add about a litre of liquid, which is our cream and milk, to this until we get a nice thick sauce. I reckon the cauliflower is probably another 2 or 3 minutes until it comes up to the boil. And as soon as it boils, we'll take it out, pop it into the baking tray and pop it into the oven. Rosie, you can see it's thickened up quite a lot. I like it nice and thick like this because it's going to sit on top of the cauliflower and it's going to be delicious. Now, pop this over here. Rosie, I have Parmesan cheese and I have cheddar cheese. I want you to stir that in.
With pleasure.
I've got a tiny bit of Dijon mustard as well. Just throw it all in, stir it in, and it'll become nice and gooey. While you're doing that, I'll just take the lid off the cauliflower and I'll take out all this lovely blanched cauliflower. I make sure I get all the bits of cauliflower out of the bottom of it because we don't want to waste anything. Pop it on there like that. Smells great, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, I'm just focused on this cheese.
It is very cheesy and very luscious, isn't it? Look, that looks fantastic, doesn't it? Now, with the cauliflower, I just sort of turn it around nice and gently to make sure I get all the head of the cauliflower sitting up like that. I reckon I've got most of it. And the chickpea, this is a tin of chickpeas. I've drained off the liquid and I'll just pop that on the top there so it goes down the side. And
I like that idea, just simply adding a little extra element of protein in there.
A little sprinkle of salt on there. And while you're stirring that cheese in there, I've got some fresh thyme. Now, you could use any herb you want. If you've got parsley, basil, thyme, whatever you want.
Thyme's amazing, though, isn't it?
Exactly. And as soon as you put it on top of the cauliflower, that hot cauliflower is just giving it a really good flavour, isn't it? And then with the cheese sauce, we sort of spread it over and it just goes beautifully. You don't want too much of it to go around the side there. Hold a little bit of it back and then just spread it around the outside so you get it down around the cauliflower and a little bit over that side there, and it's covered nice and neatly. But we're just going to pop this 180 degrees, about 25 to 30 minutes, and it will be a cracker. In we go. Rosie, have a look at this. Delicious.
It looks amazing. It does look like a pie, doesn't it?
It does, it does. That's why I like that thick bechamel on top with the cheese in there, and a few chickpeas go in there as well. Look at that. And a little bit of fluffy parsley on top. Looks fantastic, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
And I'll take a little bit over there, bust up that piece of cauliflower, some cheese on it. It's great, isn't it?
That isn't just great, that is fantastic.
It's nice and simple, and you're probably thinking there's a lot of sauce and cheese on it, but there's actually a lot of cauliflower as well. There's a little bit of the sauce on the top of it, but most of that dish is vegetable and vegetarian.
I'm going to do that. I'm a big fan.